And we are going live.
All right.
And then we awkwardly wait for.
For the internet to catch up.
Alright, it caught up. We're good.
All right.
We're back. Season
Perfect.
7. Whew.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Season 7 starting. It's
Look at all that
wild.
anime.
So much anime.
We've
Actually,
watched. We've watched at least 12 full series, and then a bunch of movies and OVAs on top. That's a lot.
yeah. Yeah. It is.
Though it.
I had actually counted the other day. We've watched 17 things for
Whew.
shows and OVAs. And then there'll be 19, including this season, and 21 if you include Urahara and Kamiko DX.
That we didn't finish. And then if we throw in more OVAs at the end of the season, since
Mhm.
Juosei's only 11 episodes instead of 13 like Nobunaga,
Yeah.
we can get to 23.
Oh,
Oh, and we're not even done a
so
full
much.
year. Or, I mean, 2 years. We're done a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're back
Neat.
again. Yeah. Yeah. Shall we get right into it then? Because I don't know about you, but I have a lot to talk about this week. So,
Yeah. It's the
yeah.
beginning of a new season. There's always a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I will just mention one thing that didn't show up because I forgot to put it there because I'm lazy.
Mhm.
We were talking about the new Magical Index season coming up. They've
Yeah.
now announced that the spin-off, A Certain Scientific Accelerator, is getting a spin-off series as well, which I'm not surprised because Railgun got like 3 seasons, Index has now had 3 seasons,
Mhm.
and Accelerator is like the other main story in that
Yeah.
universe that has sort of an arc at the beginning of Index, but like has its own story, which is finally getting adapted. So I guess that's cool for fans of that world. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, speaking of shows getting new seasons,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first news story
get
about
ready to
Late
come
Back
up.
Camp. Oh yes, so good. Yeah. They made the announcement that it's going to be a second season of TV along with a short anime and a movie, which is very good. So much stuff. So much comf.
I love that the event they announced at was like their special event they'd been talking about before, the Eurocamp Secret Society Blanket Enrollment Explanation Meeting.
Yeah, that's so good. That's very, very good.
I'm surprised they're getting so much more stuff, just knowing how much manga is left that's being
Mm,
written. Though they're not saying when it's getting it. I think they say 20. Do they say 2019 for the next season?
I don't know if they say anything.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the rumor is 2019 for season 2, and then the movie
Yeah.
partly after, so I could see maybe one more season since I think um, the first anime adapts partly into book 4, I think, and I know
Hmm.
volume 7's out, so by the time they're probably
Okay.
done, volume 8 would be out, so.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then probably just wait a bit for the movie, and then they're probably just going to be short. Um, the mini shorts are probably going to be based on what's in the manga at the beginning and end of each page. They kind of have like this
Hmm.
weird gag thing usually going on with Inuko, I want to say her name is, the blonde girl.
Yeah, you knew something.
Yeah, I think it's Inuko, but
Yeah,
it's all
I
like
think
they
so.
keep using puns on her names because of dog
Hmm.
stuff, and it's
Yeah.
silly, but
Yeah. This is saying that the short anime will be Room Camp, which is they would do like 1 or 2 minute shorts at the end of the episodes called Room Camp. So it
yeah.
looks like it's just getting its own separate thing now.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll probably be based off the stuff that's just kind of on like the front and back covers of the manga.
Yeah, probably.
But
So yeah, a lot of comfy to look forward to.
yeah,
At some indeterminate time in the future.
sometime. Like, I hate when things are just like one day it'll come out, like Kantai season 2, still
Oh
waiting
yeah.
on, and Kantai's dead. Like, Kantai, I don't think
Oh.
they're getting it. I don't think they have a budget anymore, because like I don't think the
Mhm.
movie even came out. I think like
Oh
a
wow.
recap movie came out instead, but
Oh.
like because that was like a super popular browser game that was supposed to get a
Mm.
mobile port, and like that was the big thing, and people could only sign up during certain times. They'd have lotteries, and then the Chinese developer put out Azur Lan, which is a very
Mhm.
similar game, except it started as a mobile game, which is
Hmm.
going to be more popular than web browser, and then it's already been translated to English, something that Kantai never even spoke about doing.
Oh yeah.
So it also seems like most of the budget for that company went into all of their what the heck's the name? The Sword Boys, Token
Oh
Rambu,
yeah.
because they
Yeah.
also own that game. So it sounds like all of their money they just threw into Token Rambu instead of Kantai and let Kantai die. So
Oh,
I don't
too
think
bad.
season 2's ever coming out.
Yeah, it seems like at this point it's just too late. They just missed that boat.
Just missed that boat. Good pun. Nice.
Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know. There might be a chance because there's still like mangas and stuff ongoing, and there's still like a dedicated fan base. But if it does, I can't see it being super fantastic. They did announce it already, so the fact that they haven't announced it's canceled gives some hope.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that's something that, like, if you were to cancel that, you just wouldn't say anything about it.
I think
Just
you
so people
have to
forget.
though. Like it,
Well,
I think you kind of have to when you officially cancel it. Oh yeah, that said, Azur Lane. I keep saying land
mhm.
because when I first saw it around, people would just spell it without the e, but it's Azur Lane. Um, it's getting an anime too. They announced that back in I
Oh
think
yeah,
September.
yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds right.
there's so many of those games now that you can get. There's also like Girls Frontline, which is super popular, which is based on guns as girls.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a prequel to another game by the same company called Codename Bakery Girl, which I have no idea what that's about. But
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, it's another Chinese one that has like a ton of money in it, a ton of people into it. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, and that one also has an English release, so it's like there's been a ton of because Kanto is so like popular, just
Hmm.
a ton of other mobile games came along, and they're like, I don't know why the fuck you haven't done this. We're just gonna do this, and your like Western audience is just going to leave,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what happened. So
Hmm.
unfortunate, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Speaking of Western audiences, we have this other news story of a Western audience liking a thing. It's
it's
my lesbian
popular this time though instead of unpopular.
yeah. It's my lesbian experience with Holiness won the best manga at the Harvey Awards,
Hmm.
which we had talked about a couple weeks ago. It beat
Yeah,
out. It was competed against My Brother's Husband, My Hero Academia, Tokyo Ghoul, and Your Name.
I'm honestly surprised My Hero Academia didn't win, just knowing how much people just kind of like rope that into winning off pure popularity.
Oh
But
yeah,
knowing that Harvey Awards is a bit more like
yeah.
people, but like that's the thing. Even with like a lot of the anime awards, it's still people who are like in the industry and deep in who are still like, no, My Hero Academia is the best
Yeah.
because again they get super into it because it is the type of thing that gets popular, but that doesn't. There's things that get popular because they're written in a way that makes them really popular and really like good and can pull people in and stuff. And then there's things that not necessarily get popular, sometimes aren't even that good, but they're a lot more outstanding. They're a lot deeper. They're a lot more interesting. There's a lot more to them,
Yeah.
which I think it was kind of like I think the Harvey Awards did a good job of mixing that, right? Like they have like
Mhm.
my lesbian experience with loneliness and my brother's husband that aren't as popular but have like more depth to them and stuff. And then you have like the
Yeah.
super popular My Hero Academia and the Tokyo Ghoul. That one throws me for a loop because that's not even
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul Re, which was ongoing. It's the original Tokyo Ghoul that's been over for a while at 14 volumes.
Hmm.
And then Your Name, which isn't even the original source material. It's an adaptation of the movie,
Huh.
which I think's only
That's
in there
odd.
because Your Name's just because of how
Yeah.
popular it was and nothing else.
Yeah.
So there was some that forced their way into popularity, but Tokyo Ghoul, I don't know how that got, and someone must have really liked it. So
Hmm. Yeah. That one. That one does kind of stick out for me. it's like not as popular as My Hero Academia, but then it's not really just like the same thing as the other ones. It's not the same like emotional thing as My Lesbian Experience or My Brother's Husband. That's weird. Yeah.
I do think it's interesting almost how they kind of seem to switch between super popular shonen and then like these more in-depth, deeper things, right? Because like Attack on Titan won in 2014. Hiro Mashima has won an award for Fairy Tail and Rave Master, but then Harold Sakuishi has won for Beck and Seven Shakespeares. And then you have like My Lesbian Experience. So there is a decent mix of it, which I think is pretty good and not something you see in a lot of awards, where it's usually just heavily favored to either the super artsy like stuff or to the super popular stuff, and kind of no in between.
Yeah.
Man, I still gotta buy My Brother's Husband.
Yeah, me too.
That sounds really weird to say. I've gotta buy My Brother's Husband.
That's a weird
Phrasing.
sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it for news this week. It's been so much of the new season stuff. No one's announcing anything new. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of it.
Yeah. Or a lot of the stuff that is being announced is just like happening right now because there's like New York Comic Con on this weekend, I think. Like right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 20th anniversary Cowboy Bebop panel and stuff. So we'll probably hear more news for next week.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. And yeah, we get to talk about the newly airing stuff though. So kind of fitting in less news so we can fit in more of like what we watched this week, I think.
Yeah.
So what did you watch this week? Any of the new stuff? Any old stuff?
Oh, I watched a whole bunch of stuff. I'll start with the old stuff just because kind of get that out of the way.
All
So
right.
I finished watching Euro Camp.
All right.
That
Just speaking
show's
of.
very good. Yeah, I only had like 3 or 4 episodes left.
Wait,
so,
why did I give this a 7? I thought I gave her an 8. That must have been a misclick.
Yeah.
It's at least an 8. Maybe a 9.
I really like this show. And the one problem I had with it is I wasn't a fan of the teacher who comes in at the end is like a really bad alcoholic. I was not a fan of that.
I kind of like her.
I don't know. She seems so out of place in this show. I don't know.
I think I like her because she is out of place. Like, she's very like she's the adult. She's not kind of. She's supposed to not be like just become one of the gang because she is a teacher. She's supposed to be separated by something.
Yeah.
But then also just you don't see them portray adults like that often in these shows or in manga or stuff. Like it's different. It's unique. So I kind of like that. Kind of enjoy it more just because it's something we haven't really seen, but also you're looking after these kids in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Maybe drink less. Maybe bring your sister instead, your very hot sister.
Yeah. That was the thing. It's like I'm not a fan of like making jokes about alcoholism, and that seemed what this character was. And that's like it was really off-putting for me.
That's fair.
Yeah. And the other things, technically new season, but I've talked about it a couple weeks in a row already. But I also watched Double Decker, new episode of that. That show is really good, actually. It still wasn't getting into the side characters that I wanted to talk about, but it's still good. It's kind of fun. It seems like next week will be the one.
I almost watched an episode of it this week, but didn't get around to it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, well,
really
after the next episode comes out, I'll let you know if it's if you should get into it for the two characters.
The two hot girls, gay. The one with the awesome haircut.
Yeah.
Silverstone.
Yeah, Maxine Silverstone. She's got a cool sniper rifle and a cool motorcycle.
She's fucking hot.
Yeah.
I'm gay. What can I say? Oh no. Alright.
So yeah, and then now on to the new stuff this week. Oof. There's a lot of it. I think I have eight things here. Ooh. So yeah, first off there was Run with the Wind, which is the anime about distance running, which was weird. It wasn't great. Like it's okay so far, but the whole like beginning premise of it is so strange because it's like there's one guy on the track team and he gets people to move into this dorm because like the rent's really low. Then he says, okay, now that you live here, you're also on the track team and have to go do running stuff with me. And they're like, wait, what? So he's like tricked people into being on this team so that he can go compete in some kind of relay race marathon. It's really strange.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real cynical about this show for a second. Is by
Yeah.
production IG.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're still chasing their haiku. Because
I was gonna
it's
say they're more
another.
chasing free.
Wait, did production IG do free or did it do haiku?
Oh, I don't know.
Or did it do
I mean,
both?
they're chasing the popularity of free
Yeah,
because
they
there's a
did
lot of
haiku.
shirtlessness in this.
Yeah, no, I think
Oh.
it's more haiku because they did haiku. It was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
amazing, and then they tried to do it again, the same style with
Mm-hmm.
ballroom, except it wasn't good. They didn't
Yeah.
animate the dancing well. They didn't do that well, and I think they're like, okay, let's go back to a more traditional sport again because it has
Mm-hmm.
that same art style to make me believe it's by the exact same team, like the
Mm.
same animation team that did all three, because they
Yeah.
do have different teams in production IG. I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
surprised if it's the same director, but it does feel like they're chasing their
Yeah.
uh, IQ,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
When I
directed by the
was.
guy who did Joker Game. Never mind. That's actually worse.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh, he directed.
I know.
Oh no, just the opening. Never mind. I was gonna say he directed Princess Principal, but only the opening. He's
Mm.
directed some good stuff, like he directed
Mm-hmm.
Robotics Notes.
Yeah.
That's very different. Ghost in the Shell
Yeah.
2015.
The one thing I was thinking with the show is that it's nice that it's like college level instead
Mm.
of high school. It's just I've become started to prefer shows with like older characters more lately, like college age and older. So it's kind of nice to have a sports anime in college. Because all the other ones, the couple other ones I've seen have all been in high school.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
So,
a
yeah.
burnout of the high school. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
all it is. That's one of the reasons I actually like Yomushi Pedal a lot, is you still get a bunch of glimpses into, like, the third year's lives once they've graduated and gone to, like, university.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get snippets of, like, oh, these two people from opposing teams are now on the same university team versus this other mix from, like, they kind of get mixed up into these new university teams and stuff. And while it doesn't put too much focus on them because it's not their full story, just getting those snippets is still pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So,
Next up, I know this is a show that you have thoughts on as well.
oh.
Next was Between the Sky and Sea, which that was a thing. I went into this after I read the synopsis for it a couple weeks ago. I thought like, oh, this will be nice, chill and comfy, and just be these cute girls doing fishing. It'd be really
Space
relaxing.
fishing.
And
The
then it was
premise.
not that. Oh,
The premise is so good. Space fisheries? Like, how'd you fuck that
yeah,
up? Well, you fuck it up by being completely tone deaf.
yeah.
Or maybe not tone deaf, but too, like, just blunt. Like,
Hmm.
it makes no mistake that this is just, it's basically just talk about, like, uh, God, I'm forgetting the word now. You know what I mean,
Mm.
though, right? Like, it's all just, like, men versus women. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so ham-fisted. The men don't want the girls to do anything. They're out to stop us. And, like, I get it because that's relevant right now in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
there's that whole thing about the university and, like, doctoring marks for women and men who are going into the sciences and stuff that came out that they've been doing for decades.
Yeah.
This is also based on a game. Oh, that explains a lot
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But
Partway through the episode, when they're like, "Oh, install this app on your phone and select deity for unique power," I'm like, "Oh, this is based on a game, isn't it?" And yep, it sure
oh, I
is.
didn't even get that far.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even get that far. It's just it's so in your face, like
Hmm.
cartoonishly villainized men trying to be like women will
Yeah.
never fish in space. Ugh.
Yeah.
That like
It
it was
terrible.
just so forced. There was no respect for the viewer. It was just like this. The viewer's too fucking dumb to get it if we tried to do it subtly, so we're just gonna blatantly say it.
Yeah.
And that's like it was just disrespectful to the viewer, and that's why I couldn't stand it. And then it was just dumb. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think I got to a point where they're like, she's already on the rockets. Like, how the fuck does that happen? She's like,
Yeah.
she's trying to say, no, I need to go to this other place. I don't want to be on it right now. They're just like, let's take her right now. And the guy who's trying to stop them, she's like, all right, enjoy
Yeah.
your rocket ride. It's like,
Uh,
how the fuck does that even get to that point where you just
mhm.
ignore people that much and don't do the logical thing?
Yeah, that was such a bad show. I
And
was
then
so hopeful that it would be good, and then it is. Yeah.
the way
Go
they
ahead.
set up the fishery thing too, the space fishery, was also really dumb. Like,
Hmm.
I thought it was going to be like, we discovered there's like a species of fish that flies in space. But they're like, no, we
Hmm.
just set up giant tanks because they all left the ocean on Earth. It's like, why not, once you bred them up there, just bring them the fuck back down to Earth? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's no logic or reasoning behind anything that
Hmm.
happens except men hate women and don't want them doing a job. That's it. That's it. And it's
Yeah.
so in your face about it. It's like,
Oh, God,
I
so bad.
I understand the sentiment. It's not a bad message. It's just
Hmm.
done so
So
poorly.
poor.
It's
Yeah.
oh
It's like those dudes were just like completely one dimensional. Of like hating women was like the only thing to their character, and so it's like they make for really poor rivals because they're just these cartoonish villains, and like, they're just so like flat, and like it's just hard to be engaged in like fighting against that because it's like this is just dull.
yeah, it
Ugh.
doesn't even feel like they're actually like trying to push that message or fight against. It's more just
Hmm.
like thrown in as like a means to ends. Like, well, we don't actually know
Yeah.
how to get them to this point using plot, so we're just gonna bullshit it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it feels like a plot device, nothing else, and like they don't actually care about that message. And
Yeah.
it's probably an attempt by the company who made the game to be like, look, we're inclusive,
Hmm.
and then continue to like not hire women or something. Because like,
Yeah.
knowing games companies, at least
Yeah.
Western, I don't know if it's the same issue in Japan, but
I don't know. I don't know. I felt like those dude characters were like, uh, they were just trying to like we need to have these guys be really evil and get it across really quickly, so we're just gonna do this most basic thing and that's it. Like, well, yep, you made him evil. Good job. You made him evil in an incredibly like one-dimensional, boring way. Good job. Ugh, that show. It's no good. But yeah. Anyway, the next thing I watched was I think you watched this one as well. Was Miss Vampire Who Was in My Neighborhood.
yes,
Yeah.
Kuketsuki. Tonai no
Yeah.
Kuketsuki-san.
Yeah, that mouthful. Yeah. I thought this was alright.
Cute and comfy.
Yeah.
It's pretty faithful to the manga. It's a bit weird though. There's like
Yeah.
very little background music and sound design in it, which really threw me for a loop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of very, very silent scenes. And it's just like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah. It feels like very like empty kind of overall because like part of it is the sound stuff, like no music, and then also all of the like spaces in this house seem very big but also very empty,
Well, I think
and
that's on
so it ends up
purpose,
feeling, yeah,
because she's
yeah,
supposed to be living alone, but
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it
yeah. Oh,
just
okay,
the
okay.
whole thing just has this feeling of like emptiness to it. It was strange feeling. I don't know. I actually don't know if I'm going to keep watching this because like it seems fine, but also it didn't
Right.
really grab me.
Yeah, right now I'd say
Yeah.
read the manga over it. I think the manga has a better pacing,
Hmm.
and it feels better. The manga is very comfy. It's very good. I would highly recommend the
Yeah.
manga. The anime, I'm gonna keep watching just because I like the manga.
Hmm.
We'll see if it gets better or not. I do want to see some of the side characters, how they interact, and yeah.
Yeah.
But
Maybe I'll wait a couple months, and if it's good, then I'll go back and like binge it all in a week or something.
or just go read the manga. You can do that too.
Yeah,
But
that too. So,
I like my stupid weeb vampire.
yeah, the one scene where the other girl opened up the coffin and there was the body pillow inside was very good. Even though I knew that was coming, it was still very good.
Yeah, that's actually a bit different than the manga, which is weird. I didn't really like that they included that. I think it's different from the manga. I don't remember, it's been so long. But I remember in the manga specifically, she buys a bunch for her coffin, and then talks about how she couldn't fit inside with them because there's like two and they take up the whole space. But
Oh yeah. Huh. That's weird.
yeah,
Maybe they just wanted that detail in now, and we'll do the like
Try-
longer version of it later.
yeah. It felt like they're trying to sprinkle in hints that she's a weeb. Like there's some anime figures in the background in one scene and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess show don't tell, which is good, but I feel like she
Yeah.
just let her be the weeb she is when she's going to. It felt
Yeah.
almost a little forced, but
Mm. And the next thing I watched was the new Trigger show, Gridman.
oh wait, that's out.
SSS Gridman. Yeah. Came out on Saturday.
I missed that. I didn't think it was out yet for some reason.
Yeah.
Is it
it's up
on Crunchyroll? Huh.
Yep, it is.
I kept going on and I was looking at like new shows today, and I didn't see it. Ooh, it's rated not very high.
Yeah, it was a weird first episode. It was hard to tell much because it's super slowly paced and like not much happens. So you just get a very like beginning look at some of the characters and what the conflict is, and like it's kind of weird, but it's not as weird as Trigger's other shows. So yeah, it's a weird thing so far. It's definitely like I need to see another episode or two before I have too much more to say about it because there was just barely anything there. So, yeah.
That's probably why it's rated so low. But it's weird to have such a slow start with only a 12 episode series.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like if all the episodes end up being this slow, then you're just gonna have almost nothing in this actual show, which is weird.
If you want to watch a great mecha battle show against monsters, watch the Cat Vor one.
Oh yeah, plot with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say
the art in Gridman has been very, very good. Like the animation's really good, and they do a good job of making spaces look very lived in and real. And there are some shots where there's like a giant kaiju monster over the city, but no one can see it, but like the viewer can for some reason, because one character can see it. And so there's just this gigantic looming monster in the background in some shots, and it looks very cool. So if nothing else, this is at least a pretty looking show. So
that is what Trigger does best. Also, I think for the kaiju, I think they actually hired like a guy who worked on the like all of the Godzilla stuff in the original Gridman for those designs, which is pretty neat.
I think I remember hearing that. Yeah. And the first kaiju in this is very Godzilla-like from what I've seen. So yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. The next show, you might have watched this. I don't know. I watched Zombieland Saga.
I saw a scene from it, but I didn't watch it. I was curious though. How is it?
It's weird. Like the first half of the episode is kind of rough and not very good, but then the second half is actually pretty funny. Because the first half, it's like trying to be like, oh, maybe this is a horror thing. Maybe we're gonna scare ya, and then it totally isn't. It's just a comedy thing. But once it gets into being comedy and focusing on that, it's actually a lot better. Yeah, it's a strange thing. There are girls who die, and then they bring them back as zombies and make them be idols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
When I first read the synopsis of the show, I like had misread it, or it was a shorter synopsis or something, because I thought it was going to be like an idol group surviving in a zombie apocalypse, which I was pretty into that idea. But then it totally isn't that, and I'm still into it though. Seems okay. I don't know.
Woody Harrelson died for this.
Yeah.
The saga of Zombieland continues.
Yeah. I will say the manager guy who's in the thumbnail of that episode video on the Mal page, that guy, he's a very good character. He's really funny. He's probably the funniest character so far.
Right.
Like when he's talking to the girl who just became a zombie, and she's like, well, how did you bring me back as a zombie? And he's like, well, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Like okay, that's good. If you don't want to explain it and you're just going to say straight up that you don't want to explain it, that's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a weird show.
And then they go to do their idol performance, and they just start screaming and headbanging
Yeah.
super weirdly. It's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, that's it's real weird. And then they like jump into the audience and start biting people.
Wait, do they
Yeah,
make
they
more
do.
zombies? The scene I saw cut off before that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Definitely gonna watch another episode or two of that.
All right.
Yeah. Then up next was Anime Yell, the cheerleading anime, which is it's a thing. It was like it seems totally competent and fine, but just not something I'm into. It was like the characters that they introduced didn't really grab me, and the like nothing in it convinced me that like I would be interested in a cheerleading anime. So yeah, I don't know that I'm actually going to keep up with this one. Maybe one more episode, but it's just kind of not doing anything for me so far. It seems completely fine. Nothing special at all.
I'm gonna have to check it out just to see if I can find any gay undertones, and then hate watch it for them
Mm.
and nothing else.
I think there was some gay undertones,
All right, I can
but
watch it then.
uh, I don't know. It didn't seem worth it for it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one
Was
thing.
was 2 car worth it?
Oh, those middle episodes are really good.
I still
The
haven't
rest of
gone
them,
back and watched it.
yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, so then the next show I watched, I was kind of surprised the next show was getting brought over at all, but it was Skullface Bookseller Honda-san, which is a show about a skeleton that works
Do
in.
you know the Japanese name for that?
Oh, if you just type in Honda,
Oh, it's
it'll
Honda?
come up. Honda, Honda, like the car. And it'll be like the first anime that comes up.
Why is it defaulting to characters? That's weird.
Because there are more characters named Honda.
I guess so. Alright.
Yeah. But yeah, it's about a skeleton who works in a manga bookstore. Or in the manga section of a bookstore.
Perfect for
Yes.
October.
Yeah, perfect. Because also all of his coworkers also wear masks. So
Wait,
yeah,
does he wear a mask or is he actually a skeleton?
No, he's actually a skeleton.
Okay.
Everyone else just seems to be wearing masks though, which is funny. And the first episode is entirely about foreigners coming in and looking for like yaoi and boys love and hentai dojins, and it's
Nice.
really silly. Yeah,
I might have to
it's only
check that
10.
out.
Yeah, it's only 10-minute long episodes, so it's very quick thing. It was a fun watch. I'm probably gonna keep up with that one because that's just such a silly idea. Yeah, and then the last thing of the new seasons that just came out today was Golden Kamuy Season 2. Oh man.
Did you not skip one? I thought there was one we both watched still. The Himote House?
Oh yeah, I did watch Mote
Okay,
House.
we'll do
about that.
Golden Kamuy 2
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go to Golden
Uh,
Kamuy. This is, they have a very strong start. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
It's
but-
past the manga!
Oh, whoa.
I think.
You're gonna have to
that-
wait.
Maybe not. The newest volume of manga just came out. I haven't gotten it yet, though, so.
Oof, yeah, you should catch up on that so you can start watching this because it's wild.
Or,
Oh man,
or I should just finish binge watching the first season.
or that. Both of those good options.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is an incredibly strong start to this season. I'm very excited. It has some like good stuff for the pre-existing characters and some good stuff with a new character. It's a lot of fun. It has the best fashion show I've ever seen. And I
Yeah, that's
leave it at that.
definitely past where I saw.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, you need to catch up on this. It's so good.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then like you said, Himote House was the last thing.
Which I noticed you dropped. I dropped.
Yeah.
I got baited by this. I actually know exactly what studio made this because of the
Oh.
end scene where they're all just chatting to each other. They've
Mhm.
done like 2 or 3 other series where it's just like the voice actresses talking to each other and then them animating whatever they randomly talk about. Like it's a talk show
Oh.
they animate almost. This one looks
Wow.
like they actually have plot and stuff, and then it's just the ending that has bits like that. But
Mhm.
I know the studio, and I've dropped like 3 other shows that I've been tricked into watching from them. But this one I might give a second chance for a second episode. They're only supposed to be 5 minutes each. The first
Mhm.
was 10 though,
Yeah.
and it kind of dragged. But if they're 5 minutes each, I might continue to watch them. I'll have to see though.
Mm. That that premise of like we just got the voice actors together and let them talk about whatever and animate it is like a really interesting premise, but that also seems like it could go very wrong very easily.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it doesn't really work for me because it's like a different culture. And most of what they talk about, I can't really
Oh
relate
yeah.
to or understand. So,
Yeah, that does seem rough.
mhm.
But yeah, I made it maybe, I don't know, 4 minutes into this episode before I dropped it.
Oh, I watched the
It
whole
was,
thing.
oh, well, I mean, it was only 10 minutes, so I probably should have finished it, but it was just, I bounced right off of it. It was not good.
Yeah, some of the jokes just are really like, oh, are you gonna fight? And then she does like the sumo poses and goes like doskoye. It's like most people aren't gonna get that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of random. It's like I get the reference, but
Mhm.
to us that's not a funny thing. Or I guess
Yeah.
the equivalent to us is where you like jump around, putting your fists up, like come at me, like put 'em up, put 'em up. Like that's
Hmm.
pretty much what it is. But it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, see, the show already has a 4.6 rating, which is incredibly low.
yeah.
That's real bad.
What do their others have? Let me see here. There are other stuff like that. Yeah, Tessagara, Bakumono, Maho Shoujo, Naya Girls. I knew there's a few
Yeah.
that baited me. Well, Tessagara Bukatsu Mono has a 6.78. That was the first one that's kind of just them talking, which
Mhm.
isn't too bad, and they have like
Yeah.
others, but it's 11 minutes each episode, which is just too long to me.
Yeah.
Naya Girls, it has a 3.80, which is
Ooh.
like a magical girl version. It's
Yeah.
not very good.
I can tell. It's
Yeah.
3.8. Oof.
Yeah, I got through one episode of that. That's pretty much the only stuff they do is stuff like this.
Hmm.
And the only ones with decent ratings are the Tessagura Bukatsu Mono stuff, which they have 3 seasons of, I believe. 2 seasons and
Oh.
a spin-off.
Well,
And
Huh.
then there's one about a younger sister,
hmm.
which... yeah.
Man. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Mote House. Bad. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I watched this week.
Read anything?
Yeah. No reading this week.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Any anime adjacent games or anything?
Oh boy, has there been? Because Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is out. I've been
Ooh.
playing a lot of that. And it's, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about it because the writing in that game is kind of terrible.
Oh.
But like it's still really, really fun to play. So I'm having fun with it anyway. But yeah, the main story feels like a poorly written fanfic where someone like doesn't fully grasp what the story is usually about, or like what the characters are like, or how they behave. And so it's like sometimes Kenshiro talks like Kenshiro, and sometimes he gets really sarcastic, and like that's just not him.
Hmm.
And, like they're just making these characters feel like not who they're supposed to be, and I don't know. Yeah, it's not great so far. I'm like 2/3 of the way through the main story, I think. It's on chapter 10 out of 16 or 17, I think. So, yeah, it's fun to play though. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, that's been the only thing I've been playing this week. There's so much of it.
Alright.
So yeah, on to you.
Well, my adjacent stuff I'll go with first. I started playing the first Knights of Vizier game. And it's
Mhm.
just the funniest thing to me. They have items in it which you use to summon your Servan, which is
Yeah.
just servant without a T. But the term they used, instead of idol, like a mysterious
Mhm.
idol you find or whatever, like that item that's worshipped,
Yeah.
they went with the translation of fetish.
Yeah. Oh,
Which, it's accurate, but also some of the dialogue
yeah.
comes across like, I found a fetish. I should go. It's like, these contain the souls of devils. I should go home and perform a ritual with it. It's like, no! And then you perform the ritual and get a servant.
Nice.
And it was a robot girl. I'm like, I'm being called out right now. I'm being so called out. But yeah, so that game I'm
Hmm.
getting into. Because I love
Cool.
the second, so we'll see how that goes. I only
Yeah.
started it. Books, I read a decent amount. Quite a lot,
Cool.
actually.
Yeah.
This doesn't want to load. Okay, I loaded. Let's see here. So October 2nd, I finished the first volume of Gestalt. It's still just kind of, curious where it
Yeah.
goes, so I'll probably pick up another, but as of right now, don't have much to say about it.
Yeah.
I read all of Kami-sama no Ekohiki, which is a gender
Hmm.
bender boys love with some Yuri on the side. It's okay. It's nothing super amazing. It avoids a lot of the really bad, like, transphobic tropes,
Yeah.
or a lot of the bad tropes where it's like, well, changing gender just to make it straight, because both
Hmm.
outcomes of which gender they are, it's going to be gay no matter what. So they avoid a lot of those like cliched, tired, homophobic like
Hmm.
pitfalls a lot of gender benders fall into, which is nice and good. The only downside is they kind of clear it up halfway through, and then it's just like them and one other character working through stuff, but one of the other characters gets completely shafted because of it, and just gets written off halfway through with a really poor ending, and I wish they did a bit more
Oh.
with that character, and they deserved a lot better.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
that was my biggest downside, and why I couldn't give a very good rating, was just what they did with that one character was super
Hmm.
disappointing to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Hmm.
besides that, it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's nice doing a gender bender that's not completely
Gross. Yeah.
homophobic and transphobic. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if
That
you're
is
looking
good.
for something, go for it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more boys' love, which kind of spoils the ending,
Hmm.
but
Ah.
it outright kind of says it's boys' love, more
Hmm.
so than anything else. So,
Yeah. I mean, that cover has two very pretty boys looking at each other very longingly. So.
yeah. Those aren't the boys that look longingly at each other, though, which is the weird part. Um,
Oh, weird.
but I read the first volume of Gamma, or
Hmm.
Y, like the Gamma sign.
Yeah.
It's about a world where supervillains and monsters attack, and there's superheroes who fight back. And it follows two sisters who one used to be a superhero but isn't anymore because her powers she can't really use or it might kill her, and they work as counseling staff for other superheroes who are having crises in their life, which is pretty interesting. It's very dark though. Like there's one character they introduce who it's like, yeah, she's been a hero for 3 months, but someone figured out her identity and killed her best friend and hurt her sister, so she doesn't want
Hmm.
to do it anymore. As like,
Oh.
there's a lot of really dark stuff like that. Like a guy who
Yeah.
can't actually kill villains, so he spares one and ends up killing like 40 people
Oh.
and stuff like that. So it's like, it's rather dark, but it's interesting because it's a very different take,
Hmm.
doing counseling for that kind of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
interesting, it's fun. I'll probably read more, but slowly because I'm not really in the mood for something dark right now.
Yeah. It's understandable.
I read the one shot of and then the full 2 volume series of Shinigami Alice, which
Hmm.
is serial killer assassin Yuri, which everyone knows
Oh.
is my weak point. It's not that great. It's okay. It's fine. I like the one
Hmm.
shot in the where the one shot is going more than where the actual series went, but there was a chance for a really interesting ending that they didn't go with, and I'm kind of sad, but
Hmm.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I read 3 chapters of Gurenki, which is another Yuri. Um, I don't like how forceful it is and just kind of showing up as like, you're mine now, and the other person's like, ah,
Oh.
well, I guess
Oh.
things are rough on you too, so maybe it's like, I don't really like where
Hmm.
it's going, so I don't know if I'll keep reading or not, but it's only 12 chapters, and I'm 3 in, so I'm like a quarter of the way through already. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I may as well. The main girl looks super cute though, and she has this collar put on her, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
aesthetically it's fantastic, but story-wise it's kind of shit. But
Yeah. Oh.
um, I finished the second volume of After Hours. I read part of it, never finished Forever, so finally
Yeah.
caught up on
Oh,
that. I'm so
After
excited for
Hours
the.
is so good.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait for the final volume to come out. Read the rest of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's not till December. Oh,
Yeah,
it's too
it's
long.
a few months off still, but not too long.
Hmm.
Not too long, just 3 months. But yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to that. I read volume 5 of Children of the Whales. Still
Hmm.
depressing, still very interesting. The universe is super interesting, and just how
Hmm.
everything works. And there's just constantly these new questions, and it's beautiful, and it's. I love this series so much. I can't wait to see where it goes. I believe volume 7 just came out, so I still have to pick up 6 and 7 so I can read them, but
Hmm.
soon. Um, and then I read the first volume of Crisis Girls, which I ordered the first 2 volumes. For whatever reason, only the first has arrived so far, but luckily it's the first and not the second, so I actually got to read it because it's only 2 volumes.
Yeah.
This is a weird series. Like,
Yeah.
it's a girl who's like a gravedigger who protects the town and summons zombies and stuff to do so, and it's like,
Hmm.
it's fucking weird. There's like giant penguins that attack, and like a
Yeah.
Pomeranian, and a girl who can like create wool. It's fucking. It's nonsense, but that's part of what makes it fun. Like, it's charming nonsense.
Hmm.
And it's only 2 volumes, so I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, only 138 people have this on their list on Mal.
Huh.
Like, that's very little, especially for something that's being licensed in English, so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, I'll see how it goes, because it's not too bad. And I got the second volume. They were like 40% off, why not?
Oh,
I'm
oh
not.
yeah.
It's like, I know I'm not putting myself into like a 20, 30 volume series or anything, so.
Yeah.
That's all the manga I read. I did
Hmm.
read a fantasy novel, though, a Western one by a
Oh.
Canadian person called Bloody Rose, and it is fantastic. I'm just throwing that in there because, goddamn,
Hmm.
I would love some sort of like anime of this series. It would be fantastic. It's great.
Yeah.
It's got like a bisexual main character, a gay main character. It's got rabbit people. It's got all kinds of fun stuff. Some of the
Yeah.
humor is amazing too. Like, there's some really
Huh.
good humor.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's very fun, and it's
Yeah.
actually a sequel to another series I didn't know, but it stands alone on its own perfectly
Okay.
well. Like, it's not a direct sequel, but it follows like the daughter of one of the characters from the first ones, and like
Hmm.
6 years later after an event which uh one of the main characters was in, but it's kind of just like their backstory.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anime I watched. Let's see.
Yeah.
What did I watch that you did not mention? That's the game we play
Hmm.
now. I'm surprised you didn't watch Bloom Into You.
Oh yeah. It's because it's on High Dive, and I
Right.
have a premium account there.
Right. It's very good.
Yeah.
The art's nice. It's pretty. The voice actors are really good. They get the tone well.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan. It's a good adaptation so far.
Cool. It's good to hear.
Good year, yes.
Yeah.
Super excited. Gonna keep watching. I need to buy volume 5 of the manga still, but
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
I watched episode 4 of Card Captor Clear Card. Slowly
Hmm.
watching more. She's starting to act more like how I remember her from the original, so I'm getting a bit more into it. But
Hmm.
Sharon's a piece of shit. Like, 4th episode, he's just like straight up lying to her about stuff, and I'm like,
Oh.
you're supposed to be dating now. I don't get why people like this ship. Like,
Mhm.
Sharon to the original and through this, he's just kind of a piece of shit asshole to her, like, the entire time, and I've never understood the ship. The only time I've ever understood why people ship Sakura and Sharon is in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, which is an
Mhm.
alternate universe. That's the only time. In Card Captors itself, I have never understood it. He's just, like, a second-rate kind of asshole, and she's, like, supposed to just, like, lower herself for him? Fuck that.
Mhm.
Give me that Tomoyo Sakura ending. Clamp, I'll fight you. Meet me behind a Denny's. Anyone, pick your choice, I'll be there. That's how a Denny's works. Okay, so moving on from that. We talked about Himote House. I watched the first episode of Release the Spice, which is also High Dive, so you wouldn't have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun nonsense.
All right.
It's like really stupid. I love it. They like eat spices to gain superpowers, and they're like assassins and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the funniest scene is so. I'm pretty sure they're gonna push that like every couple in this show is gay, because the only two dudes I can remember being in the show at all are gay.
Yeah.
They're bad guys, but it's like the only two guys shown. Like one calls the other their honey, and the other like a white knight or whatever. There's like a gang of super buff like old women. They're like evil and smuggling stuff, and like it's ridiculous. But one of the best scenes is they're like finishing up an operation, breaking into something. They've like hijacked to control some robots, and the dude I mentioned earlier with the two pistols shows up, and he's like, dance with death, and shoots in the two robots, and he's like, no one can deal with me. And then just like within half a second, one of the main characters just from off screen from the back just like comes flying in and like knees him onto the ground, and you just hear from the ground like, I guess one person can beat me. And then she just stands up and starts unloading a gun into him. It's like, what the fuck? That's like within the first 5 minutes, so it's not super spoilers. But it's like one of those scenes where it's like, this is gonna be fucking wild. Spoiler for the end of the episode, they're not dead. It's like Tranks. But, because yeah, it's like, did they just kill off the gay characters that are made evil? It's like, no, they're just Tranks.
Yeah.
But it's, I thought they did. I was like, what the fuck is this show? Yikes. This one's so hard. But it's like, nah, it's not that bad. But like, the main pink-haired girl, it's like, I have really good eyesight and smell. Also, if I lick you, I can tell if you're like in top condition, or you have muscle soreness, or you're tired. It's like, that's really weird. That's a weird trick.
Yeah, that's a strange ability.
Yeah, there's a lot of like fan service of her licking other characters, or like the car jerks and she accidentally kisses one's cheek.
Oops.
And stuff. It's like, it's a thing. One of the other main characters, who the pink-haired girl seems to be really gay for, has like just missing one eye, and there's a scar, and no one explains why, but she's like super gay for her, and it's like, alright, I'll watch this. This is just absolute nonsense, and it doesn't take itself seriously, and that's probably what's great about it. It reminds me of Princess Principal in that way, and also the spy themes, but slightly very different. They're more like ninjas. But over the top, like science ninjas or whatever. That
just sounds fun.
That eat spices to like drug themselves and get super strong. Their hideout is like a curry restaurant because it's spicy.
Nice.
It's so dumb. It's great. But yeah, and then I just watched the first episode of Radiant. It's very generically shonen so far. We'll see how it goes. One of the main characters introduced so far is just missing an arm, so we've got like, you know, is disabled the right word?
I have no idea.
But we've got representation, which is neat.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It is.
And she's like a super powerful sorceress. But yeah, besides that, it's pretty generic so far. And was pretty slow starting. The main character looks like he's in his late teens, but he talks like he's like a kid. Like his voice reminds me of Gon from Hunter x Hunter, who's like half his height. He looks a lot like Gon too, so I wonder if that was on purpose.
Oh yeah.
He's knockoff Gon. His like only attack we've seen too is pretty much just ripped off Gon's main attack. So.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll see where it keeps going. It was pretty. I'll watch maybe another episode or two, and then we'll see. But it's interesting, I guess. It gives me a lot of fairy tale vibes.
Yeah.
Which I kind of just want to go watch Fairy Tail instead now that the final season is airing. Catch up on that. And then the other thing I watched this week was I watched like 6 episodes of the Fate, what I call Fate Grand Cooking. Fate, wait, what the fuck did I call it? It was like Fate Grand Cook-Off or something. But it's, yeah, it's just like the slice of life cooking spin-off, and it's super chill and comfy and nice. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see someone did a car wrap of this show?
I did
They did
not.
stuff on their car. Oh, I only saw one picture of it on Twitter, and I haven't been able to find it again. But it was just a plain white car with all these characters plastered all over it, which
No.
I thought was real weird.
It. Listen, these characters suffer so much in canon. I'm just so happy to see them one big comfy family. Ryder makes
Yeah.
such a good mom.
Hmm.
It's good. It's good.
That's good.
Yeah, and it kind of hints at Sakura and Rin being gay for each other, and I'm so
Oh.
down for that. So
Nice.
yeah,
Very good.
yeah, good ship. Since they can't ship either of them with Emiya because Saber is still around, so they have to ship Saber with Emiya. So
Hmm.
makes sense. But yeah, it's neat seeing like the villains like when they're not doing villainy things,
Yeah.
just kind of like the everyday thing, which is neat.
Yeah. That is a cool idea for a spin-off, you know.
Yeah, just one big cooking family, dysfunctional as
Yeah.
fuck. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, just
Cool.
I was writing fanfics while chilling to it, so that was nice.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
then the one other thing I watched was the new Doctor Who, which isn't anime at all. It's British anime, but
Yeah.
I'm giving that another shot now that Moffat's gone. So,
Oh yeah. I've
yeah.
been meaning to watch that new episode.
Yeah, it's a crier. It will make you cry. I'm like, you started the season
Oh
with
boy.
this, you assholes. That gives me some hope. So,
Yeah. I I heard some things that make me kind of concerned about the future of that show because they were saying like, oh, there's going to be an episode where they talk about racism by having the Doctor go do stuff with Rosa Parks. It's like, oh boy.
I haven't heard about that, and I don't know how that
Yeah.
would go, but they've touched on stuff like that before.
Mhm.
Like, I think they had one. Well, they had a few like black companions where they've touched on it through them.
Mhm.
But yeah, actually going to see Rosa Parks might be a bit.
Yeah. That could be. There's a lot of ways they can go wrong. So
Yeah, they see a
be
lot of like older, like famous people. Like they did the Van Gogh episode and stuff. But yeah, it's like even if it's a really bad episode, it's really forced. At least I guess they're trying to be like, hey, representation matters type thing.
yeah.
You
At
know?
least, yeah. At least they're trying to go for it, rather than not going for it at all.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of the characters they were like kind of showing beforehand because at the end they showed a bunch of like people who are being in it. There's a lot of people of color,
Mhm.
and not just like black. There was like a lot of different.
Yeah.
Like it was a very diverse cast with that it showed, so that's usually a good sign as long as they're not all enemies. But most in the first episode of the people who kind of join up with the Doctor are all good, and there's quite a
Mhm.
few people of color. So it's like, yeah,
Cool.
actually one of the people who showed up in this episode also had a motor disability too. So it's like they
Oh.
talked about that as well, and like they're pushing representation this season a lot, which I like,
Yeah. That's
and
good.
I'm sure a lot of people will. A lot of people won't too, though. A lot of
Yeah.
people are very against that, but hopefully it gets the
Oh.
viewers it needs to like start going up episodes this season again, because it's been getting episodes cut per season just because of loss of popularity. So hopefully that reverses.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to anime. Let's talk
Yeah.
about
Our book club
our book
shows.
clubs. Yeah.
Yes. Which one do you want to start with? Nobunaga or Jyosei?
I'll leave it up to you.
Alright, well, let's start with Jyosei then.
All right.
Got some thoughts on this one.
It's depressing. Fuck.
Yeah, kind of.
I can tell it's
I-
going to be a depressing series.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really get the vibe that it'll be super depressing.
Maybe not super depressing, but edgy for
Like,
sure.
Oh, definitely edgy.
And definitely
It's a-
edgy.
It's already very edgy.
Yeah, they've already gone with the trope of, oh, your parents are killed and you've been framed for it. Which
Yeah.
is the dumbest trope ever. I hate it so much. It's just like, the most obvious thing.
Mhm.
It's like, why would you even frame them instead of just kill them too and be like, oh, we don't know who did it. Oh no. Instead of being like, well, it has to be them, and then leave them alive and a chance for them to like come back and
Mhm.
oust you for it. Like,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, the edginess in this episode was just off the charts. There
Oh,
was like
very.
the what's his name, Zagi in the village. He's like, oh yeah, when it's nighttime, we have to have a culling.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like,
oh come on,
why?
dude,
Why'd you have to call,
come
like,
on.
and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
half the year is just night.
yeah. That's kind of a cool idea. I think they're like half
Yeah.
of a year day, half a year night. That's kind of cool. But like, yeah, they're like, oh, we need to just kill a bunch of people when it's nighttime because of no particular reason. That's so dumb.
And then it's like 4 clans controlling the different portions, and
Mm-hmm.
political stuff gonna come into effect, which is neat, I guess. But they're just like, yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Zaggy, let's go walk off on our own. He almost
Yeah.
kills his own brother, just like, off. Like,
Yeah.
it's been one day, and he's already like, I love you so much, brother. Maybe I should kill you.
Yeah.
It's been one
So
fucking
dumb.
day.
Yeah.
This kid is fucking brutal. He is fucked up. And then immediately someone else comes to kill him, it's like, no, you can't kill him. I was going to. I'm gonna save him. Run away. Like, it's
Yeah. Just the brother couldn't decide what he wanted to do. It was just, ugh. It's like they were just leaning so hard into him, like being a tough guy and being all edgy teenager stuff, and
Did the other
like,
brother not get a knife either, or something, or the
I,
like
I
smelling
guess not.
stuff?
I think he pulled a bag of smelling stuff out of his pocket, but he didn't have a knife.
Then why are the plants still going after him? I don't get it. Ow.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this show might just have plants go after them whenever it's convenient for plot stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, don't shoot
And
a
just
gun here, then why would you bring a gun? Because that's the thing, I'm
yeah.
like looking, I'm like, why doesn't he kill the guy with the gun first instead of going for these other people?
Yeah.
Why are these other people just running at him with their stuff when they have a gun? And it's like, oh, we can't shoot the gun here. It's like, how the fuck did the kid with the knife know that? Like, he
Yeah.
didn't. You should have just put a bullet through his head. Then
Mhm.
all die to the plants, but you'd all die together.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, this episode had me question some stuff on if this show was gonna get into it, because like there was the part where Zagi was talking about the planet having all these carnivorous plants and how like, oh, we need to like become animals to be able to survive here. And it made me wonder like, oh, I wonder if this show is going to get into any kind of like environmentalism with like, oh, this savage world and we need to tame it or whatever. And could get into some weird stuff with the climate and everything about that. I wonder if the show is going to confront that at all or not. I'm
I,
kind
I,
of not really expecting it to, but I don't know.
I was worried about that for a different reason.
Oh,
Well, one, this is a prison planet. Why the fuck are there so many children they've sent down? Uh,
yeah.
but when they said that, they also mentioned that men and women had to live segregated. And that
Yeah.
makes me go, live like animals. Segregate men and women. It's like, okay, this is
Mm,
gonna be a tired cliche. It's
yeah.
gonna be not good, probably. Which
Hmm.
we kind of didn't talk about, but like there's been a huge backlash against Goblin Slayer coming out because yeah, first episode has scenes like that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a dark fantasy. It's like people should expect it, but it's like there's not really warnings. And the thing
yeah.
that really got me about that is the people who get upset about people warning people. Like people are like that was
Oh, yeah.
disgusting. There's no point for it. I don't see the point in violence like that. It's like, well, I knew it was coming, so it's not bad. You guys just suck. You're all idiots. It's like that's why
Yeah.
he's saying it is to warn other people. It's like I had
Hmm.
to unfollow people because they were being so obnoxious about like it. I'm
Oh,
like I'm not comfortable.
yeah.
But I have a feeling there might be stuff like that. Might keyword
Hmm.
just from the time frame it
And
came
that's,
out and some of the lines
yeah.
there and the segregation.
Yeah, that was the segregation was actually the next thing I was gonna say. Of like, there's the men and women being segregated, and then also the like four like I forget what they call them, the four kingdoms or whatever that this place is. It says that they're separated by skin color.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that
it's all
it's like,
got to do
oh,
with
yeah,
race and
race
gender
and
stuff.
it's like, oh, great. And with the era this came out in, I think it would kind of bungle that real hard. So either like they're gonna go for it and be real bad about it, or they're not gonna go for it and
They're gonna
just
go the
have
opposite
some,
and purposely make it really bad.
yeah, you're like like not thinking about it and just ending up being real bad. Oh, I'm not sure which of those is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this show, I don't know, has a couple neat ideas and a lot of stuff that makes me worried. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll see.
Yeah. Also, I'm not a big fan of the music. The opening and ending were not
They
great, I
were
thought.
they were okay, but like for the show, tonally they were way off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
especially the opening. Like, what the hell? Oh.
I like the opening. It was super jazzy, but I was like, this doesn't fit
Mhm.
at all. This is fucking
Yeah.
weird. Like,
Yeah. It made me wonder if someone like read the lyrics and said, "Oh, this fits our show.
it
These
almost
lyrics."
it almost felt like something out of like an 80s or 90s anime, not something from like 2006.
Yeah. Yeah. The music I did like was when the two boys got jettisoned into space. There was like some violin and drums music, kind of
Mm,
jazzy stuff going on. That was good
yeah.
for all like 30 or 40 seconds that was on. But
Why would you
otherwise,
waste an entire space capsule to send two kids to a planet instead of just having a fucking trial or killing them?
ah,
I guess they do mention that, like, oh, the other people are watching us fight for their amusement or something, but it's like there's no
mhm,
sign of any camera, any way for them to be watching unless if they just have, like, a satellite going around, which is way more money to fucking spend
mhm.
on this. It's like,
I
especially
mean
for
they,
no one knowing about it, so you can't even, like, make it a
yeah,
game show. It's dumb.
yeah. I mean, I guess the way you could explain that away is like they have, the technology and money and everything for like I think it said two colonies in this, like two space colonies in the system. So they could probably afford to have, an extra satellite or two on some hidden planet.
Yeah, but again, they said like no one knows about
Yeah.
this planet, so how the fuck would they make money
Yeah.
off that anyways? It's like,
Yeah. The fact that they managed to have hidden a planet in the system seems like a lot.
yeah, it all sounds like bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this show goes. Oh, so one thing I want to ask: do you think one of the brothers will die?
I think one's
Because
already dead, straight up.
oh, yeah.
He's either already dead or the tougher brother's gonna die
Mhm.
saving him, and then he'll become the tough brother. It's gonna be super cliched
Mhm.
or just super edgy. One of the two.
Yeah.
No in between.
So yeah, I kept waiting this whole episode. As soon as I saw that there were the two twins, I'm like, oh, one of them's gonna die, and it's probably gonna be the tougher one. So
But then
yeah,
the weaker
I
one gets like eaten by a plant, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
maybe he is fucking dead already. Who knows?
yeah, that would be odd. I think that would probably be the more interesting to me is if the younger, or if the not younger, but the weaker brother died, because then the older brother, or not older, the stronger one would have to be like kind of more introspective and be like, oh, he had such a kind heart. I should be nicer to people.
Yeah, because
Maybe he
he
would.
talks about the younger being his conscience, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe you just use that to make him super edgy because he has no conscience now. I think it'd be
Yeah.
interesting if the younger lives and they don't realize it, and people mistake the younger for the tougher, and
Hmm.
he kind of ends up through that and manipulation rising up on one side while he, like, the tough one rises on the other. It kind of
Hmm.
ends with, like, a calm, like, a fight between their two ideals or something. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. There's opportunities for some interesting things here.
Yeah.
Whether or not they deliver on those, though, big question mark. So yeah, this was 2006. Hmm. It was a weird time for anime. The original manga's from '93. Did not know that. Huh.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm guessing what's his name is dead because in the synopsis it keeps mentioning Tor but not the brother.
Oh. Yeah. Brai. Yeah, and I looked at the cast list. It lists Thor as the a main character and Rai is supporting. So
Yeah, he's fucking
that's
dead. He's
yep.
fucking
Well,
dead. Goodbye, Brai.
yeah. Oh well.
Goodbye. That's our title for this. That's
Yeah.
our title for this week.
Good. It's a good. Terrible name.
Yeah,
Good. It's good stuff. So,
perfect for the podcast.
perfect.
All right. So, do we have any more to talk about? Any other thoughts?
Uh,
Any?
I think that's all I've got for this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's
one
all I
other
got.
thought. They land in the middle of
Oh.
a giant fucking lake and then get
Yeah.
across without swimming or going wet. Fucking how?
Yeah.
Those lily pads weren't close enough. That's some garbage.
Yeah. Maybe they're just walking for a long time and dried off.
Maybe.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't know, it's weird space water. Maybe you don't get wet when you get in space water, you know?
Mm.
Just plenty of dumb ways you can explain that. But yeah. Shall we move on to Nobunagan?
Alright.
Yeah.
So Nobunagan, that was a wild intro.
Yeah, that was wild. I'm really into this show so far.
I fucking love the art direction so far.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Like the
Yeah.
way they, for like shading and gradients and like shadows, use like, for
Like
most of the
patterns.
girls it's all like flower like designs
Yeah.
and stuff, and then for what's her name, Ogura,
Okura?
it's like it was
Yeah.
like camo on her.
Yeah. Yeah, like I really like the shot early on when she's laying in bed of her bedroom, and like all the shadow areas are all in like the kind of camo pattern on it, and then there's the
Mm-hmm.
light shining on her. It looks so cool.
And it like helps solidify that she's a gun nut, which we kind of get
Mhm.
because she's like can name them all.
Mhm.
The opening scene was a little weird with like Nobunaga going to get his gun and then,
Yeah.
uh, but she's a gun nut, so it matches.
Mhm.
When the enemies come though and all the colors change, it felt very JoJo's, very Lance and Mask. I love those kind of like color designs where it's all like hard, like
Mhm.
reddish pinks, blues and greens, and like primary colors and stuff, and everything kind of
Yeah.
pops and stands out. It was very pretty.
Mhm. Yeah, great use of color in this show. It's fantastic looking.
Jack the Ripper looks stupid as fuck though. Uh,
Yeah, Jack the Ripper is extremely lame.
his
I
weapon is
was
like a Swiss Army knife. I hate it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's the worst.
I hope he dies. He's probably dying right
Yeah.
now. He's dying.
I hope so. I hope.
Uh, Yeah, I kind of
Mhm.
like the whole she's an outcast because she's weird, and they're like playing that up. The way she
Mhm.
walks even is kind of weird at times. Like she's just kind of like
Yeah.
super awkward, which I totally
Yeah.
get from like that age period. Like it just
Oh,
her whole
absolutely.
being just gives off this awkward feeling, which like
Mhm.
is super relatable. And then that
Yeah.
one girl who's like still trying to be her friend and be nice is so nice and
Mhm.
make it gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Asao. Yeah, Ogura seems totally gay for her.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's like I love
Mhm.
I love the idea that they're like we're going on a school trip, we're going to Taiwan. That's not a place you see in anime. It's
Yeah.
very different. It has a lot of recognizable landmarks they were able to use, which is really neat. Like,
Mhm.
and it gave some really great lines. Like, we're all gonna go inside the big guy if you want to come.
Yeah.
Go inside
That
that
was
big
really good.
dude. Like, it was like out of context. That's fucking awful. But
Yeah.
just talking about the big dude, it's just like this
Yeah.
giant statue.
Yeah.
And then to be edgy, they kill off the guy working the food stand.
Oh.
Rest in peace, food stand guy.
Never forget. Yeah.
I like the sound design too, like the tanks and stuff. You could
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like the sound of their impacts was really good. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, the enemies weren't the most unique or interesting, but they were still
Mhm.
pretty decent. Same with the
Yeah.
animation. Like I like the exploding spikes it sent out. I
Mhm.
liked how they didn't just all explode. Like one crushed a guy and he just like blood splurted and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's not afraid to throw in some gore and violence.
Mhm. Yeah, that's I think maybe they were just doing basic enemy stuff for this first episode, just to be like, here's some like basic grunt things. They'll hopefully get more diverse, more interesting later on. But yeah, they're still making good use of those enemies, even though they're not the most interesting things. It's good
And
stuff.
and then big fucking question about the other people coming to help. It was
Mhm.
uh Newton and Gandhi. Well, those
Yeah.
aren't known fighters. Like Jack the
Yeah.
Ripper and Nobunaga at least are known to fight. What the fuck do these
Mhm.
guys do? They might be more supportive, but it's still weird.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, they made it sound like Gandhi was like she's using like shields or healing or something. It was
yeah. But
on
then
the way to
Isaac
help.
Newton, maybe he just controls
Yeah.
gravity or something. Who
Yeah.
fucking knows? Throws some apples.
Yeah, sure.
I love this scene though when she's like awakening the power and it's just like when your ancestor arrives they'll get whatever weapon they want and it's like obviously that'll be a gun Just
Yeah.
Nobunaga was just like, he didn't fucking care. It's like, you killed me, you ended it. You're saying I'm gonna be reincarnated? Alright, fuck you. I'm a badass. It's a gun. And it fits because Nobunaga was really well, like, renowned for pioneering a lot of, like, gun tactics in Japan.
Yeah.
So it, like, totally fits. And then also
Yeah.
the shitty pun name. It's like, who are you? It's like Nobunaga, and the guy's just like, what?
What? Yeah.
So,
That was
did you
good.
stutter there for a second? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's actually saying Nobunaga or if she's just like so excited about having a gun because we know she's like a gun nut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a massive Gatling gun that just like a massive like Gatling gun with like a symbol on the front. I'm not sure what it says, but blows stuff
yeah.
up.
Yeah. It's very good. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. And I kind of realized, like, oh, this show, it's kind of like Assassin's Creed. Because, like, your DNA has memories and you inherit abilities from ancestors.
Oh no, it is. Oh no. Wait.
Hopefully this is better than Assassin's Creed.
When they do the Japanese Assassin's Creed game, people have been asking forever. You'll get to play as Nobunaga.
God, they probably would have Oda Nobunaga in a
Probably.
Japanese Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you probably assassinate when Mitsuhide attacks. Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm really into this show so far. It's a lot of fun. It's super stylish.
Yeah.
This was a very good pick.
Yeah, there wasn't too much plot because it's still the first episode. It's just building up the
Mhm.
world building. It did a lot of character building, which I liked. Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
focus on Ogura as a character, and then also on what's her name, Asao,
Asao?
and
Yeah,
like help
Asao.
like their kind of relationship and stuff. And it pushed a lot of that, which was
Mhm.
neat. And it hinted at a lot of plot stuff and started building it, and then it just went full on balls to walls, crazy stylish nonsense, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very good.
I'm very,
Yeah.
very interested to see where the fuck this goes. It sounds like it's a somewhat generic, like, evil monsters attacking, only you can save the day, but
Mhm.
there's also different ways it can go, because it seems like the organization doing it's working with that weird rabbit robot, which was the one who killed Nobunaga, and then it was like, you're gonna be
Yeah.
reincarnated, which could become, like, based on, like, past memories, maybe they'll, like, eventually rebel, like, you fucking killed all of us, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then episode
We'll
2,
have to see.
that person from Shaolin Showdown shows up in episode 12. Every time I see it, I can't stop.
Yeah, we'll find out in like 3 months.
So long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just patience. You have to look at it every week. You have
Every
to think of
week.
that character
Every
every week.
It's okay. If I can talk about nonsense,
Mhm.
Nobunaga reincarnated with a gun, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, it's such a dumb concept, but it works so well. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems really solid so far.
Mm-hmm. I finally got a good pick for us on the first try for once.
Finally.
Finally,
Yeah.
that wasn't a magical girl. It's still kind of a magical girl, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a girl and she has magic.
It is. No, damn it. One day I'll find us something that's not a magical girl show, but it's not this month.
Yeah. Actually, I'm looking at at the history of shows that we've done, and like Dream Eater Mary was kind of a magical girl.
Yeah.
Matuli is definitely a magical girl. Chika is kind of a magical girl. Pleiades was definitely a magical girl.
All the ones that weren't were bad, and we
Yeah.
dropped them.
Yeah.
Well,
Urahara was magical girl, and that was bad. So
yeah.
we dropped that one. So,
Ooh.
you know, Clockwork Planet was like almost magical girl, but it was more
Oh,
machinery girl.
there we go. But it was bad, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
We finished it, but it was tolerable. That's
Mhm. Yeah,
it was tolerable. We could
yeah,
make
it
it
was-
through. It wasn't like Chemical DX where it was like,
Yeah.
well, there was vague racism, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if we can talk about the plot because the plot was just like someone
Nonsense
threw a bunch of
garbage.
ideas into a hat and tossed them out.
hmm
But
Then also there's you picked Megalobox, which that's definitely magical girls.
oh yeah, well, no, that's Super Magical Girls. What are you talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
I
So,
didn't
yeah.
remember that I was the one who picked that. Alright.
Yeah. Because you had to pick something after Chemical DX was bad.
Right, right, right. Shit. What did you pick
Yeah.
that season? I don't even remember now.
That was key.
Oh yeah, that was Key. Right. See, you picked the magical girl that season. That's why I didn't. It
Yeah.
was the trade-off. Except it ended up not being so good near the end.
Oh, yeah, that was
Oh,
the thing. Oh,
well,
yeah.
hopefully these shows will be good all the way to the end.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm so worried about you, Yosai, but it's only
Yeah.
11 episodes, so it's okay. Even if it's trash, we can,
Yeah.
like, palate cleanse for 2 episodes.
hmm Yeah. I have some good ideas for OVAs to fill in that gap, so.
Yeah, there was
All
one I
good.
was looking at, but it's on High Dive.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the Black Magic 98 or whatever. I forget what
Oh,
it's
yeah.
called. But yeah, that would look somewhat interesting and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, most of High Dive is accessible for non-premium. It's just the currently airing stuff.
Alright. The simulcasts and the exclusive dubs or whatever.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah. I think the simulcast or whatever might be a week behind on High Dive. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Maybe.
I'll
That's
have to
what
check this
Crunchyroll
week.
does, so.
Yeah, that would make sense to do. I hope that is what they do.
Alright. So,
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it for this week.
alright.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back next week. You can find us on twitch.tv/saysome on Monday nights, like tonight. Or if you don't want to watch then, you can catch us on YouTube at shenanimegans.moe. Subscribe to us there. And you can also join us on Discord and hang out with us at shenanimegans.moe/discord, or you can just hit us up on Twitter at that lastly and at saysomebots. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think so. We
Yeah.
will see you next week with
Yeah.
episode 2 of Nobunaga and Juyosei.
Yeah. We'll
Thank you
see
very
you.
much for watching. Take care.
Good night.